Hello folks, Brew.com here, bringing you the sideboard for the deck I've prescribed in terms of main deck a little while ago in the previous video. So now it's time for the sideboard. In the upper part of the screen you see the main deck configuration, and the lower row represents the sideboard. So basically, let me start by specifying your options for the budget lists. Basically, from the sideboard you see in the lower row, you should only replace Arc Lightning with Iblight's Massacre or Minister of Pain if you're not splashing red. So if you don't want to invest into fetch lands and new duels, so that's what you do. Or you play Complete Disregard. So you need something for Atarka Red and for decks with Hangerback Walker. So think of what is like your best solution. So I think Minister of Pain like kind of hedges against both of those odds. So that's probably the better cards compared to Iblight's Massacre or Disregard. And you would still have cards like Self-Inflicted Wood or Murderous Cut to kill off Mantis Riders and whatnot. Also bear in mind like how you're gonna deal with opposing Jaces and Gideons. So one card that I think might be in your sideboard if you're in the budget version, if you feel like you don't have enough ways to deal with the Planeswalkers, you need to play this Spice. Because I ran Touch of the Void main deck and Arc Lightning in the sideboard, I have extra ways to kind of finish off Planeswalkers. But if you don't have the red splash, so I think it's correct to play some copies of Despice in your sideboard. As for Evolutionary Rip, it doesn't cost that much right now, but basically think that you need to grind out control matches and Jeskai matchup, and in those matchups cards like Empty the Pits actually do a lot of work. Basically when but if you don't run a bunch of fetch lands, then Empty the Pits probably might not be the right card for you. So I would recommend actually something else, but you need to get like extra value out of your cards, out of things like that. Back to the sideboarding guy. So if you don't want to run Evolutionary Leaper, you just don't have it and you don't want to like search up for it. So your options are Macabre Waltz and also Damnable Pact, cards like this. So you need to grind out the stalemates, or not the stalemates, like generate like card advantage so that you can grind out. And if you already have the mana base for Abzan, I might recommend you to run Rally the Ancestors if you can allow that, if you have the mana base for it. If you don't, you need to like consider some other possibilities. You might just put extra Sylvan Messengers or Spirit Collecting Companies in your sideboard, things like that. Or some Planeswalkers depending on your colors. Right, moving on. So Murderous Cut is the card of choice like for the Absent matchup and for any mid-range matchup where they have like just big threats. I would probably set it in against Megamorph decks. So is the Self-Inflicted one. It's also for the Megamorph and for Absent, and in parts against Esper, against Ojutai. Transgusted Mind is here, even though it's not really great and you don't want to bring it in against Jeskai or Green-White, but it's great against Esper Control, for example. And it's great against Absent decks as well. Yours is for control matchups, and sometimes you want to board it in against Jeskai, depends on their configuration on their list. You probably don't want to bring it in against the Dragons version, so only the Jeskai Black version. That rounds the actual sideboard up, and as for the cards you want to take out, you often take out 1 or 2 copies of Elves Visionary, like 1 copy of the Turnbow Archer from time to time. You definitely take out Touch of the Void against Esper decks, even if they bring in Jace. then sometimes it's okay to take out 1 or 2 Death Dealers, for example. And when you bring a lot of your grindy packages like empty, leap, your discards, bunch of removals, so if you feel like you want to really bring it all and you're feeling really confident about it, sometimes it's okay to actually take out a lot of the 4 and 5 drops, because you're bringing in so much of disruption and removal and ways to generate card advantage. But it's actually important against decks like Jeska Black to not overboard, to not bring in too many copies of reactive cards. So you need to be very high on action, because sometimes they would just grind you out and kill all your creatures, and then you're just top decking like archers, and you're not really happy about these kind of scenarios. In addition, one in the Gottlieb Dan also blocks Mantis Rider and blocks Wind Metrox and helps against Gideon as well, and etc, etc. Blocks a lot of creatures from Abzan and Green-White, especially if you get to pump it at least once with cards like Trana, especially if you can kind of push damage through with it, also with Work Caller and Call Again. So those are really useful. Drana might seem unimpressive, it dies like the Fury Impulse and a lot of chip removal, but on the other hand, if you get to attack with it at least once, even before it does damage, it becomes already a 3/4 because of First Strike, and then it makes it really hard for them to deal with or to block profitably. And then it can block like also Mantis Riders, Wind Matrox, all those flyers, and really present a giant threat. Okay, that wraps it up for you here. Until the next sale, bye.